establish a dedicated national agency that will reduce the burden of malaria in Nigeria. Ignatius Nko reports.
It is another step in the long battle against a disease that has silently claimed millions of lives across Nigeria, malaria. Inside this conference room, the Senate Committee on Health, Secondary and Primary convened a public hearing on the National Agency for Malaria Eradication Establishment Bill, sponsored by Senator Ned Nwoko.
Science-based and community-oriented strategies towards the elimination of this deadly disease.
It is time to move from seasonal campaigns to institutionalized eradication.
Participants agree on a national policy on the elimination of malaria. They, however, differ on the establishment of a new agency, as there are already existing bodies saddled with elimination of the disease. The proposed National Agency for the Eradication of Malaria will be tasked with coordinating nationwide efforts through research, prevention, treatment, and advocacy.
The National Malaria Elimination Program under the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare must also be strengthened to fulfill its mandate.
The current National Malaria Elimination Program should be granted the status of a department so that it can receive its funding directly.
The committee also commenced investigation on the alleged ripening of fruits with chemical, which followed a motion by Senator Anthony Ani. Experts highlighted the dangers of contaminated foods and their punishments.
To halt this unwholesome practice, because it endangers health.
These practices are linked to severe public health, such as cancer, kidney, and liver diseases.
Federal Oil and Gas Hospital Delta State Establishment Bill, sponsored by Senator Joel Thomas, also received public acceptance. Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
In response to the prediction by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, and the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency on imminent floods alert in 24 states, including the FCT, between July and November 2025, the National Orientation Agency, NOAA, has commenced sensitization campaign in the FCT. Kenneth Nanim reports that Paikonkore in Gwagwalada Council area of the FCT is the first port of call.
Panorama is one of the flood-prone areas amongst the communities in the Gwagwalada Council area of the FCT. The settlement pattern alone is enough to predict the impact flooding could have on the area, as there are no drainage systems nor hydro sources outlet facilities in their building plan. To enlighten the residents on the necessary steps to take in order to mitigate flood impact is the reason for this program at the instance of the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
There should be gutters, and where gutters are created, they should make sure that nothing blocks the waterways. It's important. They should be able to get necessary items of food source and so on. When there's flood, definitely it will block everywhere. They may not be going out and coming in.
It was an interactive section, and the message is also being delivered using indigenous language for easy communication.
Whenever there's flooding, you stay put. Don't cross. Then, in the houses, you lift things up. And when you get alerts, please move to a higher ground.
This is done to promote early action by various governments, stakeholders, and citizens, and all users.
NISA is eager to work closely with the NOAA and other stakeholders to enhance flood awareness at all levels.
We're having serious gully erosion. If not that, there's no serious rain this year, I think that area is in danger.
Meanwhile, the SU Dugoro of the area and some other district heads acknowledge the messages with the assurance that their subjects will adhere. Kenneth Nanan, NTA News.
With the rapid growing voluntary carbon market economy, the Resource and Environmental Policy Research Center, University of Nigeria, Nsukka, in conjunction with Environment for Development Initiative Nigeria, is driving an intervention aimed at ensuring proper regulation to curtail the effects of greenhouse emissions. Mina Daniels was at a stakeholders workshop held in Abuja and now reports.
The voluntary carbon market, VCM, has been in existence for decades, valued at $2 billion with an estimated $1.5 trillion in 2050. Yet, the market is not under a regulatory regime. This research dissemination and stakeholders workshop is looking at exploring the potentials and challenges of voluntary carbon market in Nigeria.
Without a robust governance system, there could be substantial emission leakage, which can have negative implications. Hence, to harness the potential benefits of carbon markets in Nigeria, it is critical to generate and advance knowledge among stakeholders.
The study looks at availability, accessibility, challenges, and marketing of carbon markets in Nigeria, bearing in mind the risk of significant carbon leakages and severe impacts without efficient implementation.
We have had discussions with stakeholders across the private sector, the government, public sector, the NGOs, community, even academia and all that. So we have talked to them to find out those who are actors. There are people who are actors already developing carbon market, the developing project, a VCM project. We talk to them to understand the challenges they face and the potential of that.
The research identified lack of information on voluntary carbon market, slow pace of policy development and implementation, amongst other shortfalls.
The one sector that information are really lacking, because we have people who come every day to get us with the fact that they have what it takes to set up the structures to enable us get so much from the carbon market.
Marketing is one of the tools being propagated by the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change for the mitigation of climate change, in which the idea is for countries that have a number and large amount of natural resources to try to see if they can maintain them.
Nigeria is positioning to capture a sizable share as its carbon market policy, yet to be approved, targets $2.5 billion in high-integrity carbon credit investment by 2030, and establishes a national registry aligned with Article 6 of the Paris Agreement, which allows countries to trade carbon credits to meet their emission reduction targets. In Abuja, Mina Daniels, NTA News.
The federal government is tasking state governments to take more responsibility to combat sanitation-related diseases through community engagement. The Minister of Environment, Balarabe Abbas Lawal, gave the directive during an activity marking the National Sanitation Day. Charity Ashiki reports.
The increasing adverse effect of climate change, such as prevalence in disease outbreak and flood, is motivating the call on the need to embrace environmental sustainability practices. Commemorating the National Sanitation Day 2025, the Minister of Environment, Balarabe Abbas Lawal, represented by Omotunde Adeola, says environmental issues has grown to humanitarian crisis, threatening the health, economy and socio-economic welfare of citizens, hence the need for decisive steps to be taken to mitigate its adverse effects.
Sanitation is not merely about waste disposal. It's about dignity. It's about equity. It's about public health protection. There are so many and numerous benefits that will start to benefit if we practice safe sanitation and hygiene.
Representing Governor Abdullahi Sule, Commissioner for Environment and Natural Resources, Margaret Elayo says the collective ability to manage waste and promote sanitation system will help curtail the menace of poor sanitary practices.
The success of these policies hinges on translating them from policy to practice, from paper to people, from intention to impact.
Charity Ashki, NTA News.
And to electricity, the national grid is said to be relatively stable, and the Nigerian Independent System Operator, NISO, says it is strengthening its operation to sustain the gain. Other stakeholders' engagement convened by NISO with industry players on the future of the grid and its stability. Stakeholders are optimistic that with the ongoing reforms and investments in the power sector by the federal government, Nigeria will achieve 8,000 megawatts of electricity generation and distribution in the next 1 year. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission and other industry players stressed the need for compliance to market rules by the participants while urging NISO to sanction defaulting players in the sector.
Operations, long-term system planning, and the coordination and development of the electricity market.
Government has awarded new contracts for the SCADA system, covering the entire nation. Work is in progress all over across the nodal points in the system.
Federal government of Nigeria has taken about $500 million from the World Bank in loan to finance upgrade of distribution infrastructure network. Within that scope, we're going to provide 3.2 million meters for Nigeria, and of course with the presidential metering initiative as well, which provides another 2 to 3 million meters. That's about 7 million meters in total. So we expect to see significant improvement in terms of electricity access for all Nigerians.
The Minister of Education, Dr. Rauf Olatunji Alausa, extends appreciation to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his decision to immortalize late President Muhammadu Buhari through renaming of University of Maiduguri, Borno State, as Muhammadu Buhari University of Maiduguri. In a press release, a director press of the ministry, Boriowo Folashade, indicates that the sector has been chosen as the channel through which the late president's legacy will be permanently remembered. Dr. Lausa believes that President Tinubu's decision reflects not only deep empathy and respect, but also a firm belief in education as the bedrock of national development, and his commitment to human capital development is unwavering and consistent with the path of national renewal that President Buhari championed. The symbolic gesture underscores the administration's recognition of education as a cornerstone for sustainable development and national identity. The ministry reiterates its commitment to upholding the values of service, integrity, and excellence that both late President Muhammadu Buhari and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu exemplify. For Nigerian teaching profession to catch up with the fast-growing digital world that will empower a generation of teachers equipped to deliver dynamic, inclusive, and reflective learning experience, education programs must promote digital equity, innovative teaching practice, provide continued support for hybrid teaching strategies, encourage reflective, ethical technology use, and content knowledge seamlessly. This is coming from experts in Nigerian education at a workshop organized by School of Education, College of Education, Zuba, Abuja, with the theme Hybrid Learning for Teacher Educators. In the digital era, the workshop provides an avenue through which competencies of educators shall be developed on leveraging emerging technologies to enhance teaching and support 21st century learners.
They don't come to classrooms, so we have devised a way to teach them at home, even if they are sick in the hospital.
As 21st century learners, they live in a technology-driven life. You will have to use technology to make sense to them. One of the reasons why educators also must employ technology.
Teacher educators must lead this change by fostering technological proficiency, ethical responsibility, and pedagogical innovation.
Digital tools, when creatively deployed, can democratize learning and enrich traditional pedagogy-driven innovations. I thank you for your kind attention.
Provost of the college, Dr. Sule Mundi, and Dean of the school, Dr. Badamasi Ayuba Tarida, believe knowledge is impacted on students wherever they are located. Now it's now time to pause for some messages. Panorama continues after the break.
From the Atlantic across the savannah to the Sahara, we rise, a land of the free, we know they tire. We dream great, our spirit is undying.
Resilient, rooted like palm tree, we swear in colors, with undying demand, we make solutions, we ignite passion, yeah. Ethnicity is unique, we have more than just a nation. We are Nigeria, strengthening unity, we know they carry lives. We are Nigeria, together live the dream of a land with great destiny. We are Nigeria.
I am the real Nigerian. Brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
Thanks for being there. And now to Union Matters. After the contest of an election that spanned nearly 20 hours, a new leadership has emerged that will steer the affairs of the Radio, Television, Theatre and Arts Workers Union, RATAW, in Nigeria. Prince Emeka Kalu, a veteran broadcaster from Anambra Broadcasting Service, clinched the presidency with an impressive 276 votes. Abbas Mekano reports from Gombe.
It was a marathon of democracy as delegates from across Nigeria converged on Gombe for RATAW's quadrennial conference. After hours of voting and anticipation, Prince Emeka Kalu, a seasoned broadcaster, was declared the new national president.
Prince Emeka Kalu, who scored 276 votes. Therefore, Prince Emeka Kalu is hereby declared as the president of RATAW. Prince Emeka Kalu.
With over 2 decades of experience, Kalu is expected to champion the welfare of media and cultural workers while navigating the industry's challenges.
So I have seen what problems we are having, the challenges that we're having. So, but most importantly, we are going to prioritize workers' welfare.
With him as the new executives are Babangida Umar Zurmi, Deputy National President, Abdullahi Umar Kinta, National Vice President for the North Central Zone, and Dahiru Aliu Dadi, representing the Northeast Zone, among others.
Let me first of all thank the new president of RATAW, just inaugurated, and the entire CWC, that I want to make sure that I will give them my moral support.
I am honored that the RATAW family from the outset is seen as one entity, indivisible.
For now, the union celebrates a peaceful transition as it braces for a new era. In Gombe, Abbas Mekano, NTA News.
Media organizations play a pivotal role in shaping national consciousness, promoting unity, and upholding cultural values. This position was underscored during the official inauguration of the Planning Committee for the 2025 Joint Carol of 9 Lessons, hosted by the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN, and the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, and the Voice of Nigeria, VON. The Director General of FRCN, Dr. Muhammad Bulama, reaffirmed the corporation's commitment to supporting the committee, emphasizing the importance of collaboration in delivering a successful and impactful event. He stated that the FRCN remains dedicated to using its platforms to foster peace and national cohesion through shared cultural and spiritual experiences.
An exception. We want Nigerians to be encouraged
by this verse in the Bible that they can do all things through Christ. He's the one that will strengthen them.
The 2025 edition of the FRC and NTA and Von Carol of 9 Lessons is scheduled to hold on the 7th of December with the theme, Christ Our Strength. The event is expected to draw participants from across the country in a celebration of faith, unity, and hope. The government of Zimbabwe has described the late former president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, as one of the African leaders who stood firmly with the people of Zimbabwe during their struggle for independence. The acting president of the country, Dr. Constantino Chwenga, stated this during a condolence visit to the Nigerian embassy in Harare. Dr. Constantino Chwenga, who is the vice president of Zimbabwe, points out that the late Nigerian former president was a forthright and upright leader that led the country with courage. He noted that the late Nigerian leader will be remembered for his anti-corruption stance and pro-Africanism. Dr. Constantino Chwenga commiserates with the government and people of Nigeria for the huge loss. Responding, the Nigerian ambassador to Zimbabwe, Lazarus Pasaba, thanked the government of Zimbabwe for standing with Nigeria in her moment of grief. In Abuja and across many parts of the country, car theft has become a high-speed crime, rising faster than ever before. In less than 60 seconds, a vehicle can vanish without a trace. Expert attributes the alarming surge to increase access to technology and the influence of social media, which are making it easier for criminal syndicates to operate. Now, in this special report, Dennis Tempo examines the alarming trend, what prospective car buyers should be cautious of, and how authorities are responding to the growing menace. Well, it seems like the report will come subsequently. Let's see sports update as preparations intensify the 2025-2026 Nigeria Premier Football League season. Kano Pillars Football Club has announced a strategic partnership with Hausa Service of Radio France International. This collaboration is aimed at boosting media coverage, enhancing the club's visibility, strengthening its brand, and deepening engagement with fans across Nigeria and beyond. Our Salisu has the details.
The deal marks a new chapter in the club's efforts to strengthen its brand and expand its media presence, both locally and internationally. As part of the agreement, Radio France International will provide extensive media coverage for Kano Pillars throughout the season. In addition to media support, the partnership also covers the full provision of branded jerseys and training kits for the squad. This not only ensures the players are well equipped, but also reinforces the club's identity on and off the pitch. General Manager of Kano Pillars Football Club, Ahmed Musa, and representatives of Radio France International have described the partnership as a timely and strategic move that will boost morale and enhance professionalism within the team.
It's not everything about money. When you have the passion of what you are doing, you just keep on doing it. For me, I love this club with all my heart.
We are looking at different ways to support the fan base, maybe with t-shirts or other things, but this is something that we're still thinking about how to strategize with the general manager and the communications team. So
they express confidence that this collaboration will contribute to a successful campaign for Kano Pillars in the upcoming Nigerian Premier Football League season. In Kano, Awal Salisu, NTA News.
Well, our reports conclude Panorama for today. Thanks for watching.
mosaic of time in the kaleidoscope of life. Time is a masterpiece. A delicate piece when we wait. A vibrant shard when we're late. A dark fragment when we're sad. A radiant tile when we're happy. An intricate pattern when we're in pain. A long, winding thread when we're bored. But time's mosaic is crafted by our hearts and our minds, not by clocks. So piece together your time wisely.
Join us as we embark on an exploration of Nigeria's rich cultural heritage and natural wonders.
He told me that there could be fish here that could be as big as myself. Well, I'm not too small, but any fish that is as big as myself, I think that is very big indeed.
In order to make sense of the pains these women go through every day to be able to provide for their family, I asked how much of this bowl they will fetch from this river to this place to make a truck.
From the bustling streets of Lagos to the serene waters of the Niger Delta, Nigeria offers an unforgettable experience.